Hey, I'm Dayoung, member of the Teen Advisory Board at the Howard County Library System, and welcome to the final lesson of our 15-part Python series. And today I'm going to be talking about object-oriented programming in Python. So this is our agenda. Not going to go over it because of time. So what is object-oriented programming? So it's a type of programming based on the concepts of these objects, along with their properties and methods. Alright, so some object-oriented languages include some new things like Java, Python, JavaScript, C++, and some non-object-oriented languages are some older languages like C, Assembly, Fortran, and Pascal. If you see to the right, simple Java program meant to print hello world, and you can see the first line that has a class in it. So you need to know object-oriented programming if you want to do Java. It's nice to know for Python. It's just a good thing to have. It makes things a lot easier sometimes. So yeah, that's what object-oriented programming is. I'm going to explain the actual concept soon. In fact, I'll do it right now. So I want to actually make a quick analogy first that I use a lot when I'm thinking about classes, which is Pokemon. So if you see here, we have a Pikachu and we have a Charizard. These are two completely different Pokemon. They have different names, they have different types, they have different levels. However, they have the same attributes. They have the same name, or not the same name, but like they have a name, they have a type, and they have a level. Regardless of if they're the same or not, they still have these three attributes. And they have the same methods. All Pokemon can move, all Pokemon can attack, right? So even though they're two completely different Pokemon, they're under this Pokemon category. And this Pokemon category has a name, type, level, and they can move and attack, right? They're under this Pokemon category, or Pokemon umbrella, sorta, or as we like to call it, class. So they're under this Pokemon class. And you've actually seen this before in things like integers and strings. So strings have attributes like content, so like this whole string, like hello, and the length, which will be 5 for this hello string. Integers, they have a quantity like 5, and they also have methods like this capitalized method or this abs method, and this returns the absolute value of a number, so if you have -5, it'll just return a 5. That's pretty convenient. So you've seen these, and a lot of data types in Python actually are, objects. They're classes. So let's talk more about classes. So classes, think of them as blueprints. They're not the actual object themselves, but they're the blueprints. So Pikachu is not a class. Pikachu is actually an object, right? Pokemon itself is a class, right? Because Pokemon, they have name, type, and level, but the Pikachu it's like a specific instance of a name, type, and level. And some examples are, we talked about the strings and integers. And classes are actually mainly composed of two components, being methods and attributes. We'll talk more about them later. And use this keyword class to create a new class. So there's a convention for naming. It's cap words. You want to capitalize the first letter of that name. And all the first letters of the words after that. So this is a correct version. The upper one, this is not correct because its first letter is not capitalized. This is how you're supposed to name your classes. You don't have to, but it's conventional, which means a lot of other programmers do it this way. So what are properties? So these are literally just attributes of an object. You gotta remember here that the class it's not the actual object itself. It's not Pikachu, but it is a blueprint for that Pikachu. So in this example, I'm using a car. So we have brand, color, and speed. And setting Honda equal to the brand, Y equal to the color, and 50 equals to the speed. So this brand, color, speed, these are all the properties or attributes of the object. And when we do car, I'm creating that new car object and setting that equal to the name, my car. And when I do my car.brand, this refers to that property of that car, which is a Honda. So here it prints Honda. Now, initializing. So this is useful when you're thinking back here. So this is hard coded in. What if I wanted to make another car, but with like a different brand, a different color, a different speed? Then I'm gonna have to create a whole new another class, right? But that's kind of counterintuitive because that defeats the whole purpose of creating a class in the first place. So these initializers are extremely important when you're making a class. Almost all classes have these initialize functions. So new objects should be initializing this underscore underscore init underscore underscore function, and you need to have it this way or else it won't work. And it has a self parameter, which can be named anything, but it has to be this first parameter. As you can see here, I named it self1 here, but usually it's self. And that's just saying that I'm initializing this current instance of the class, not some other instance, not some other variable, but this current instance. And then you can put in your other fields or your other properties like car brand, color, car, current speed. And they're literally like function parameters where they go in here, and then you can set it to the actual property of the car. So this car's property will be brand right here, color, and speed, and they are being set as the parameters here: car brand, color, car, and current speed. But conventionally, these parameter names here, they're usually the same as the actual property themselves. So this is a more realistic example where brand is gonna be equal to the actual brand of the car. So this is a little more simpler, and optimally the self one would be self because it's more conventional too, but I'll just show you here that the self parameter can be named anything. So when I do this new car, and then I call the car, and I say Mercedes black 60, I'm saying that this Mercedes is this brand, black is the color, and 60 is the speed. Now you know here that this self parameter, it's not called here, that's only because this is just to tell that class that, hey, I'm gonna assign these things to my current instance, not some other instance, right? So you don't actually need to fill out this parameter when you're actually calling it, but you do need to fill out the other parameters, right? So this will create a new car, a new black Mercedes that can go at 60 miles per hour. Now methods are like functions that belong to a class, so they're essentially the same as a Python function and can have multiple parameters. So here I create a new function called info, and all functions, all methods have this self parameter just like the attributes or the initializing function, just to let them know that that function belongs, or that method belongs to that instance of the object, right? So here I say, hi, this car is and I call my own color, my own brand, and my own speed. So when I create this new car here, that black Mercedes from earlier, and when I call it info, it'll actually, because I set that equal to the name new car, when I call info on it, it'll talk about its color, it'll talk about its brand, it'll talk about its speed. So that's why it prints out that there. And I concatenate all this. So if you don't know what concatenation is, it's a pretty good point to go back and check. And essentially, you can it's the same as a Python function. So you can have multiple parameters. Like you can use another parameter like subtract. So if you want to lower the speed, you can put in a subtract parameter, and you can subtract that from the actual speed or the property of that instance, right? That's pretty cool. And this CRUD acronym. So CRUD is a popular acronym used to describe models in programming, and in terms of classes, C stands for create, which is creating a new instance of a class or a new object. R for read, which is printing a certain property or an attribute of an object. So U for update, which is changing the value or property. And D is for delete, or deleting the object or a property of the object, the del keyword. So creating will be something like when I say in line 10, new car is car, that'll be creating that car object. Reading will be something like this info function where you print out all the information about the car. Update will be something like, I don't know, the lower speed function where it changes the speed. And deleting, I'll show you soon in an example. So if we open up pycharm here, I already have a car made. This is a custom class. And let's say I want to make a new car, right? I'm going to make let's say my car, and I'm going to say car. And I'm going to make it a BMW. I'm going to make it silver. And I'm going to make it go at 60 miles per hour. I'm going to make a new car, another car. And this time I'm going to make a Tesla. It's going to be a red Tesla. And it's going to go at 50 as of now. And now I'm going to call .info for both cars. And you can see above, that info is defined as a function or a method within that class. And the change speed, I'll use that later. So right now if I run this, so now it prints out the information. Let's say I wanted to change the speed of my Tesla. So I'll say new car dot and change speed. And I'll change it to 80. And now if I do new car dot info, and that new car again refers to the Tesla. Now it'll print the same Tesla, but now it's going at 80 miles per hour, right? Unless I wanted to delete the BMW, right? Then I'll do del and then my car, which is that BMW. And now if I try to get information from my car, it's not going to work. It's going to actually throw us an error because my car isn't defined, because we just deleted it. We're trying to call a method on an object that doesn't even exist anymore. So that's why it's giving us this error, right? So that's how you delete that object. So now I'm going to actually have you guys do a simple practice problem. Or not really simple, it's pretty hard actually, but so I want you guys to simulate a car factory that can create, read, update, and delete cars, and I want you to provide a user with the menu where they can either create a new car, or they can specify their brand, color, and speed. read or print out information about the car. So let's say I want to know about like the first car or the second car, and obviously all these cars are going to be contained in a sort of a list. So it'll be like the 0th index will be a BMW, a first index will be a Tesla, a second index will be like a Honda. An update where you'll allow you to change only the speed of the car. You can obviously let them do other things, but for now, for simplicity, only the speed. And another option where they can delete a whole car. So I actually encourage you to attempt it by yourself first, and I'll show you what it looks like when it actually runs. But I highly encourage that you attempt it by yourself first, because it's good practice, and good practice is it's what really helps you improve when you're with your programming skills, right? If you don't get enough practice, you're never gonna get good at programming, even if you memorize the whole documentation. Or you need a lot of practice. So I'm gonna just go ahead and do this. So hopefully you didn't pause the video there and copy all my code. I'm gonna assume that you guys didn't do that. So now it's gonna say these are cars, but currently we don't have any cars because we didn't make any. So it's empty. It's gonna say welcome to our car factory. Type 1 to create a new car. Type 2 to get information on the car. Change speed, delete, and then end the program. So let's say 1. I'm gonna create a new car and brand. Let's go with Tesla right off the bat. Red Tesla, and let's say 80. So now you can see these are cars, and now we have a red Tesla here. Let's say another car. I want this time a Honda. Let's say a white Honda, and I want it to go at 40. And I'm gonna create a new car just for fun. Let's say what do I want? BMW. Let's say yellow, and speed 10. Very slow car. So now you have red Tesla, white Honda, yellow BMW, right? And let's say I want to get information from, let's say, the Honda. So we want to refer to the index value. So the Tesla will be 0, Honda will be 1, right? Because lists are 0 index, so it'll be 1. And it'll say, hi, this car is a white Honda and it's currently going at 40 miles per hour. If I wanted to change the speed of the car, I'll type 3. And also I wanted to change that BMW's speed because it's going really slow. So I'll do 2, which is the index of that BMW, and I want to go at 50. So now if I get that information on that BMW, then it'll say, hi, this car is the only BMW, and now it's going at 50, which is that changed value. And let's say I want to delete the Honda, right? So I'm going to do 4. And which car I want to delete? I want to delete the Honda, which is a 1 index, or the first index. Not the 0, but the first index. And that'll delete the car. And now you can see here that we don't have that Honda anymore. And you can type 5 to simply end the program. So again, I encourage you to try this by yourself before you look at the code. And I'll give you like 5 seconds. So 5, 4, and pause the video if you want to. 3, 2, 1. Alright, cool. You totally just didn't wait 5 seconds. Alright, so same car, this is the same car class with the same initializers. And here we're going to create a car factory list, right? I told you to make a list. It's just going to be the list that contains all the cars. And I run a while loop. We first print all of our cars that they have, so that they know which cars they have. With a simple for loop, so for each car in car factory, we're going to print the car's color and the car brand. So that's, you can see here, that's where we print like the red Tesla and the yellow BMW, right? And notice how I'm using these new line characters. So they're not like all in one line, but they're in separate lines. So here I'm going to take the input, and I'm going to do like the whole type 1 or type 2 or whatever, and I'm going to cast that as an integer so I can compare it using conditionals here. And I'll say if answer is 1, then this new brand is going to, and now I'll take a bunch of inputs, and then I'll create that new car object by calling the class. And I'll do new brand, new color, new speed. And I'm running out of time here, so I'll just show you the code. And obviously, if you can't see all the way to the end, it's just words, so it's pretty intuitive. But this is basically how you create a kind of a crud program. And if you have any questions, you can feel free to DM us, but I'm really running out of time here, so I'm going to have to close. So thank you for watching our 15-part Python series. Please like and subscribe to our channel, and you can follow us on Instagram if you have any questions. I know this is really rushed. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask on our website, Instagram, or email us. And I'll see you guys next time. We might have another series, but regardless, I'll see you guys next time. It was a pleasure teaching you guys, and have a great day. Goodbye.